right, so I get a lot of questions about my office, my library, where I write, and so I figured I'd do a little impromptu video today before I blast back off to Morocco and keep filming True Believer, book number 2. So on the way up to the office, I have my New York Times list framed here. So this is Savage Son. This is the first book that I hit the New York Times with, and this was before Rogan, before going on big news programs, before Chris Pratt mentioned anything about the show. So this is really special to me because it was really all grassroots, and it was all one person taking a risk on me as a new author, telling somebody else who also told a friend or posted about it. And so really special to me that that's the case. And right here, hit it at number 10, and then the other 2 books, the first 2, True Believer and The Terminal List, also jumped on the list at the time, so very cool. Next one to hit was The Devil's Hand, book number 4, so moved from the number 10 spot to the number 3 spot right there, and also, yep, number 1 here on audio, and then Terminal List and True Believer also on, so 3 on the list at the same time, which is pretty cool, or I guess 4 or 5 if you count the print hardcover and combined hardcover, so that's kind of crazy. And came In the Blood right there, number 1, and then Terminal List on there as well. And then the next book right here, In the Blood, also 1, so that's print, combined print and ebook and audiobook all at the same time. So that was crazy cool for that to happen. And then same thing with Only the Dead, you can see that right there. So all those 3 spots. And then of course this, Elwood T. Risk right here, Woody, who makes these amazing, this amazing artwork out of Long Beach. Really cool guy. I posted about him before and some stuff that he's done for the SEAL teams on the 10th anniversary of 9/11. So then came Red Sky Morning, book number 7, also in all 3 number 1 spots. So thank you everyone who makes that happen. And then Targeted right here. So this is my first nonfiction book with Pulitzer Prize finalist James M. Scott, amazing guy. Has 5 other books out there, 4 on World War II, and they're just all incredible. And I've learned so much by working with him over the past couple of years now. We're actually working on the next in the Targeted series right now, but this one hit at 4 or 5, and then 12 right there. So very cool. All right, working our way up the stairs here and into we'll close this door because it's pretty nasty in there. It's just kind of storage. All right, so moving into the office. So there's the office right there. And this is really the fiction side of the house. Over the library up there, I'll show you in a second, is most of the nonfiction. So this is mostly fiction in here, and it's not organized quite the way that I would like it yet, but getting there. There's some stuff lined up here. Some boxing gloves for my buddy Kevin O'Malley. Thank you, Kevin, right there. Have the coins for each of the books lined up there. Some knives. Ken Hackthorne got me these 2. Very cool. Right there, some half-face blades, some dynamis, just some of that stuff right there. My director's chair, and this one is from Terminal List right here. This is from Dark Wolf, and then this one right here is the one we're filming right now. True Believer. I snagged it a little early so I wouldn't forget. And then here's the desk. My wife had this built for me right here. So we got the Winkler Tomahawks, just some other things from my past, some money from Iraq, some patches from a unit I was working with from a few years back there in 2006, and some Terminal List stuff here. This is the watch that Taylor Kitsch wears, the Tudor that Taylor Kitsch wears, the actual one that he wore in the show right there. A little cameo CIA badge when we filmed in the lobby. I got to do my second cameo on Dark Wolf. Yeah, the patches from Terminal List, and this knife right here, very cool, from Ray Porter, my narrator of the audiobooks, and that I guess that's a waveform right there. So that's a visual representation of the first words that he spoke when narrating the Terminal List. So that was an amazing gift from him. And then Simon & Schuster 100th anniversary, where I got to speak, and such an honor to speak there at that event last year. And here we go, Jean Le Carré right there on the cover of Time and Newsweek, back when authors of espionage thrillers could make a cover like that. And then that right there is a piece of the headquarters and barracks from 1983 Beirut. So that's a piece of from the rubble, which is very special to me as a gift after writing Targeted Beirut with James Scott. So that was very cool from someone who was there. So had that, and then a bunch of Newsweek, Time magazine covers from when I was a kid, essentially focused here on Beirut. Those was really impactful to me, and then there's some other ones over here as well, some hijackings from the 80s, and this is from Princess Gate right there, London, 1980, the storming of the Iranian embassy by the SAS. And then this right here is from Nelson DeMille, amazing guy, from his memorial service last year. So that's just some special stuff to me right there. And let's see what else we have over here. Some more gifts, my books lined up right there. Just added Cry Havoc to it right here. Just opened those up. So just added that because I'm working right here. A lot of times I need to jump in and look at what color somebody's eyes were or something about their past that I wrote in some of the previous books, and I like to have those close at hand so I can go find that stuff. I should really do some sort of I think they call it a Bible or something, where you have all in a big notebook where you have all your characters and plot lines and stuff so you can find it easily, but I just keep the books close by. Then it has the bows up here so I can shoot from the balcony and hit a bunch of 3D targets that are lined up out there. So good to have options. And then this is a collection of signed first editions from authors that I read growing up. So typically I've read paperback back then, and now I'm collecting all the signed first editions of all those books that were so impactful to me. So we have the Jean Le Carré's up top right there. This is all Stephen Hunter along that side right there. David Morrell, who of course created Rambo back in 1972 with First Blood, and he has so much that he gets two shelves right here. Just amazing to have these all as signed first editions. Incredible. I have some Frederick Forsyth down here, Robert Ludlum. Need to complete those collections of signed first editions. The Tom Clancy's down there, and then some Alistair MacLean around here. Jack Higgins over there. You can see all those. Look how many books those are. And then Michael Connelly, Stephen Pressfield, J.C. Pollock right here. Very influential author to me back in the 80s. Same thing with Mark Olden right there. Of course, A.J. Quinnell right here, Man on Fire. Have all his first editions there. Daniel Silva right there. He's got two shelves going as well. Love Daniel Silva. All Nelson DeMille's right there. And then some Clive Cussler's across the top, working on that full collection. And then Charles McCary, when one of his books called The Tears of Autumn was very influential in the writing of Cry Havoc. So he's amazing right there. And then, of course, Vince Flynn. Amazing. All right. So those are those, and then a couple doxes. So from the Clive Cussler. And then if we go in here, working my way up the stairs towards the library. Here we go. That's Gil Cohen right there. Did the covers for a lot of paperbacks back in the 70s, 80s time frame. And this is Mac Bolan from the 80s. I'm always looking for original artwork from the Mac Bolan or Able Team, Phoenix Force back in those days. So got that a few years ago. My wife framed it for me for Christmas. So that is right there. So I get to walk by Mac Bolan and Able Team Phoenix Force as I work my way up to the library. And then right here, this is the tomahawk that Chris Pratt uses when he does the gutting scene in The Terminal List. So Jared Shaw, my buddy who gave Chris The Terminal List, and it's the reason that it's a show, he had this framed for me, and it's right there as I enter the library. And then the list from The Terminal List right there, or one of them. We had to do quite a few of them because a lot of them got destroyed during filming. So this is one of them right here. And then here we go into the library, turning on some lights. All right, there we go. So this is the library right here. This is where I do most of my writing. And I've already outgrown it though. You can see the bar over here. So it's supposed to be, and it was for a time, all bottles. A lot of people bring me bottles on book tour, so I end up with a lot of whiskey. And that was full of whiskey, but now I had to move those out to the podcast studio and fill these up with books. So I feel like I've almost outgrown this library, but this is for the most part the nonfiction side of the house. So this is where I write, right here at this desk with my laptop, a laptop that's only for the book. So I have two, one for business and personal stuff, and then one that's just for writing. So I'm not distracted by anything else on there. It's only connected to the internet so that Word can update. But other than that, it's just for writing. Have my books there close at hand, adding Cry Havoc to the stack here since that just arrived. And then I'm trying to figure out how to put it in here because I've already outgrown this shelf here. So these are all the books in order. These are hardcover, trade paperback, so it's a little bigger than a mass market paperback, which these are. But it comes out about a year or so after the hardcover. So need to figure out how to get Cry Havoc in there. And other than mine across here, this is my Fleming and Bond shelves. So these are all books either by Fleming or about Bond. So that's this side right there. And then everything else is nonfiction all the way across right here. It's not organized exactly the way that I like it because I've had to move things around and done a bunch of research, pulled a bunch of books off, put them back in, and clean up really quick for interviews and stuff like that. So not quite the way that I want it, but getting close. I organize it essentially by theme and some by time, and there's some overlaps right there. So meaning I'll have a World War II section, a Civil War section, a Vietnam, a Korea. Most of the Vietnam ones are actually over there because I had to pull them all off for Cry Havoc, and they were stacked all over the place as I was doing the research for Cry Havoc. I'll have Iraq, I'll have Afghanistan, Russia, China, Israel, Iran, a section on the CIA, Africa over there. So it's kind of broken down in a way that I understand, but it's not quite there yet. So still a work in progress. And have, of course, the original internet down here. Those are encyclopedias. Yep. A World Book and a Britannica. And I want to get one from every decade. So let's say 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. So I can go back and see how certain events were written about during those time frames and then compare them to today. So I just ran out of some space. I need to get another library going so I can get those all stacked in order, but have some from the 70s and 80s right here so far. And what else? Oh, here's Hemingway's typewriter. I get asked about that quite a bit. That went up for auction in 2020, and a fan got it for me, which is insane. They want to remain anonymous, and it's sincerely appreciated. It's treasured. I wrote one line on here about the hunting of man. It's also the same quote from Hemingway that starts off Savage Son, my third book. So I typed that, and then I left it alone. So that's there close by as I am typing away on the books. What else is interesting in here? A TV that I've never turned on. Some Bond stuff. This is a dictionary from 1969. I couldn't find the 1968 version of this that I wanted for the book, but 1969 was close enough. So as I wrote Cry Havoc, I could go to this dictionary and see how things were defined back in the late 60s. So because I had to write every sentence essentially through the lens of 1968. So without 50 plus years of hindsight for a character, they only had their life experience up until 1968 in order to show their perspective on a certain event in Cry Havoc. So hence that right there. Got some Bond stuff, Fleming on the cover of Life right there. I liberated this from the, I don't think I'm even supposed to be showing that, but that's from True Believer, liberated that from the set. Didn't think anyone would mind. And yeah, right here, all the Vietnam books that I used for Cry Havoc, and some of the things up here that wouldn't fit on the shelves in their respective locations. And then up top, still have a little whiskey up there, have the Moonraker gun up there, and some posters, Terminal List. Me and Chris on the cover of Ballistic right there, another cover of Ballistic. The Japanese cover of the Terminal List. I always like the Japanese covers of things, movie posters too. And then these are the three books right here that have most heavily influenced Cry Havoc. So that's The Quiet American by Graham Greene, that's The Tears of Autumn by Charles McCary, and The Honorable Schoolboy by John le Carré. So those were with me as I was writing Cry Havoc as well, and love those old paperback covers too. Let's see, two watches, two Vietnam era Seikos right there, also close by as I was writing Cry Havoc. And yeah, I think that's a little poster also liberated from the premiere of Dark Wolf. right there. And that's about it. So thanks for joining me on this tour. Oh, some old school dictionary right there, and thesaurus right there. I don't like any computers giving me recommendations on words or doing any of my thinking for me, as much as I can help it anyway. So have those right there as I write, and yeah. So that's the library, and yeah, maybe I'll have to get another one at some point so I can have an actual working bar, because for the most part I just look at those and sit over there and write. So all right, thanks for joining me on the tour. Hope you had fun, and really appreciate all the support. Take care out there. Have a great one.